Hey guys, and welcome to game number 17 out of 100 of my Human vs. AI series, where I'll be taking on the AI-powered Scrabble bot BestBot in a 100-game match. We're currently sitting at 5-11 through 16 games, so still in a bit of a deficit, but slowly clawing our way back from a very brutal start to the series, and hopefully we can keep things going strong here today. So let's go ahead and jump right in. Okay, it looks like we're going to be first, and not a terrible opening rack, probably not going to bingo. Out beep is not good. I don't think BestBot's going to let that stay on the board. That sounds pretty awful. There are some very weird outwords that are valid that you would probably never think are valid, but out beep is definitely not one of them. Beep out is also not valid. So probably just going to play Beautio over here. 20 points, keeps EP, not a bad leave. Yeah, I think that's fine. No good reason to play short here. There's not really anything better that plays fewer tiles and keeps a better leave. So I think this is fine. We draw pretty well. Do we have a bingo? We do. We have Perils, P-A-R-R-E-L-S, which will play with Beautios, I suppose, or next to it. Yeah, I guess it actually plays pretty nicely here for 72. Unlikely to stay open, but you never know. Do we have anything else? Yeah, we have Perlers and Relapser. All right, so a bunch of those are foiled. We certainly can still bingo, at the minimum with Webs and Perils. Is that it? Do we have anything through this U? So Perusal is a double-double, but of course that's not a bingo. We still have an R left. Larup, no, Larupt or Laruper almost works, but not quite. Yeah, I think Perils and Webs is the only thing that plays now, if I am not mistaken. So I think that's the move. And not exactly what I wanted out of the bag here. 6 vowels. Might be a trade next turn. Maybe I'll play Uri somewhere, O-O-R-I-E, if I can score enough points with it to justify keeping 2 A's. So we'll see. A lot is going to depend on what the bot does, whether the bot opens up a place for me to dump vowels or makes an opening that I need to try to address, so we'll see. Alright, it plays Lorica. So, yeah, I mean, I have a bunch of mediocre options. I think actually Aporia through this P is reasonable. It's 18 points. That's definitely better than trading. EO is not great, but it's certainly not dreadful. If I traded, I'd probably keep ER anyway, and I mean, ER is better than EO, but it's not 18 points better. So Aporia is decent. It's going to be hard to score anywhere near that much. Obaya is pretty bad. It's 6 points. AEOR is probably a little better than OE, but it's not 12 points better. Yeah, I mean, I can play Uri, but that's way fewer than Aporia. It also keeps 2 A's, which is a lot worse than OE. So, yeah, I don't think... What do I have through this C? Icea? No, it keeps OOR. That's pretty bad. Yeah, I think Aporia is probably my best option here. So I'm going to go ahead and play that. Alright, this rack is also not great, but certainly a little bit better than the last one. At least with the J, I should have some scoring options. Maybe I can play Mojo or something like that somewhere, depending on what the bot does. I also have plays like Jeep. Jeep is actually interesting because it sets up my O for Opa. And there are still 3 O's left, but there's not a ton of O's left. And it's definitely a very high-risk, high-reward play. So that's an option we'll want to keep in mind if it stays open, of course, depending on what the bot does. Then there's the more straightforward options, of course, like just playing Jot or something similar, which scores fewer, but is a lot safer. So we'll see what the bot does here. I don't think I have anywhere great to play Mojo right now, as far as I can tell. I don't think I have anything on the bottom right. Do I have anything here with the J that reaches the double? I don't think so. Yeah, Jeep doesn't play there. No. Almost Jomon or something. No, not going to work. I don't think there's anything through this R. Interesting. So the bot plays Cirrus. So it probably has... It's got to have another S, right? I mean... It could have played Cowrie or something for only like 4 less. So it's got to have another S. Now, so I think Jeep, the nice thing about Jeep now is it still makes that opening, and I set up move for next turn, but at least it doesn't allow disaster scenarios if he has an O, because now he can't, with that C there, I mean, unless he gets some sort of freak triple, which is extremely unlikely. I mean, if he plays Homicide or something, that's going to be like over 200 points, but I don't think that's going to happen. So I'm not too worried about that. I mean, yeah, the worst case scenario, if he has an O, is he probably, or the worst case scenario that's not extremely unlikely is that he plays like a 3 there. And, yeah, that's not particularly bad. And he often doesn't have an O. There's only 3 O's left with 63 tiles unseen. So I think it's a reasonable risk to take. Yeah, I mean, I just don't really love any of my other options. And I have a lead, but I don't have much of a lead. So yeah, let's go for it. Let's see what happens. Okay. Moongate through an A. Doesn't quite fit on the bottom, though, does it? Almost. It would make Aporiam, which is not a word. Alright, so, okay, so he uses his S for spot. I guess, I didn't think about that he did have the other S, but, I mean, it wasn't that likely for him to have a big play with the S there, right? Because you can't really start with a consonant and an S. Like, that's pretty much the worst case scenario if he used his S. So, that's not that bad an outcome. But does he have another S now? Because he could have also just played AY for 32 there. Like, I have to wonder, does he actually have the last S also? Hard to, like, I'm less sure of that. I mean, maybe he played the S for 8 points if he had a lot of consonants. I think it's more likely than average he has the last S, but I don't think it's a guarantee that he has the last S. Like, it felt like it was a guarantee he had another S after Cirrus. Alright, what do I want to do now? So, no Moongate. Definitely would like to dispose of the G and at least one of the O's. I think Mongo is a decent play here. It scores 25. It keeps ET. I like playing a lot of tiles. I don't feel like I want to play, say, off just GO here because there's 2 blanks out. I'd really like some turnover for those. So Mongo accomplishes that pretty well. Seems like a pretty good play. Yeah, I guess I could also go with Mongo over here. I wonder if that's better. So it's 2 less. Get rid of my E, which I'd probably rather keep it, but there are still 6 of them left. It turns over 1 more tile for the blanks. I don't know, I probably should hold on to the E just for some balance. I don't want to run into a situation where I don't get any vowels or something, so I think I'm still turning over 5 tiles. The extra 1 tile I don't think is that huge a difference. So I feel like Mongo here is probably slightly better. I'm going to go for that. Okay, what do I have here? Rondolet Redolent from this R. That plays. And Toil Deletion don't fit through this I. Do I have anything other than this stuff from the R? It is fairly volatile, especially with 2 blanks left. So the bot has nearly tied the game up. Anything through this U, Toluene, but it doesn't take a D. Unbolted. No. Moltened. That's not a word. Or lamented. Yeah, that's not good either. Huh. Yeah, it's funny. I actually see through the M, there's a Del Monte, which is a big canned food brand. I know whenever I'm in the supermarket and I'm walking down the canned food aisle and I see Del Monte, I'm like, oh, that doesn't have an anagram. Because I'm always thinking about that stuff whenever I'm out in public, which probably isn't too big a surprise to you guys. And yeah, I've definitely come across Del Monte in the grocery store and be like, oh, this doesn't have an anagram. So now that I see that, I know I don't have to look harder through the M. Alright, I guess, yeah. I guess Redolent or Rondolet. Which one? Does it really matter? So here I float. I probably shouldn't put the D there right in the double-double line. I think Redolent is a little bit better because of that. Yeah, I'd rather not allow him to double-double ending in a D. It's very unlikely he'll double-double ending in an O. So we'll do that. And That's not a draw I'm particularly happy to see, because there's still 2 blanks left, and just a lot of potential. Like, I have a lead, but there's a lot of potential for damage. And wow, so he bingos still without a blank. At least I have Fave now, which I think has to be the right play. I have Fix here, which scores the same, but definitely I want to block that spot. I have Ticks for next turn, which is good. So yeah, this, I think, has to be right. I mean, I don't see what else I'm going to really consider here. Ooh, nice draw. We get a blank. Textile plays. I'm not sure I'm going to want to play Textile, though, over here, because it's pretty open. It's only 71. It's not a particularly high-scoring bingo. I may be better off just playing, like, Text over here and saving the blank. We'll see. It's going to depend a lot on what the bot does. Do I have anything, like, through this R or this U? Or do I have, like, almost Excitement or something through this C and this S? Probably not going to have anything. I guess there's also Ticks, but that leaves a little vowel heavy. So Text is probably a little bit better than Ticks. Yeah, so what other... I don't have anything to this E, right? Like teletext or something? Huh. I feel like maybe through this M, that's going to be tough, I think, but... Yeah, it's definitely worth spending a little time on this turn. It's tricky. See, I mean, as of now, the best options, once again, that I see are Textile for 71, bingoing immediately. Text for 33, holding the very nice IET blank, and then Ticks for 36, which I think is just worse than Text. Like, I'd rather get rid of the E, give myself a better chance to bingo to this E on the right. So I think it's really between Text and Textile, unless I can find something else, which I'm going to spend a little time trying to do. So do I really not have anything... Or maybe through like a 9 through this R and this S. Huh, like Extremist almost works, but not quite. X2 bait almost. Huh. Euxenite. Yeah, I'm close to a lot of things, but close doesn't really help in this game. Yeah, I'm just sort of going through all the different tiles in my head that the blank could be. I don't see anything else. Yeah, it's going to be tough to bingo to that E with... I almost have text sign too. EKTEXINE. That would be pretty cool. Yeah, I'm close to a lot of cool stuff, but like I said, being close doesn't really do you much good. So, alright, yeah, I think we are between Text and Textile. So yeah, Textile once again is 71, Text is 33, so it's a 38-point sacrifice. A blank is not quite worth 38 in the vacuum, but Textile does put that T right in the triple line, and there is that blank left. I mean, other than the blank, yeah, I guess the pool is fairly well balanced. I mean, there's 11 vowels, 16 consonants, which is a fairly even ratio. There's 2 H's, which go pretty well with the T. UUVZK. So there are some clunky tiles. Still 3 Ds. Bot just played whiny, so could kind of have anything. Could have a really good bingo leave, or it could have garbage. I kind of am inclined to play Text. I'd really love to bingo to this E, like, or through this U. That's just so much better than Textile. And it's not like the bot is going to bingo and just completely shut me in. Like, I'm not worried about not having a place to bingo back. I mean, there's this A, which won't score much, but there's this M, there's this R. Like, there's places to bingo. So, I think I'm actually leaning towards playing Text here and foregoing the bingo. Because EIT blank, especially with a slight consonant heaviness, is such a good leave. I'm very likely to hit a double-double through this U or an 8 to this E, and that's just going to be so much better positionally than Textile. So, Yeah, I think I feel better about taking a 40-point lead in this position with this lead than like an 80-point lead after Textile. I really do. So I'm going to do this. Oh, wow. We draw the second blank and the Z. So, for Z, it's 125. Well, if that stays open, then that's GG on the spot. Wow. I must have something else, though, right? Like, I mean, I have stuff through this A that doesn't score much. Like, do I have anything through this U? I'm not even sure. It's very hard with two blanks. Probably would end in IZE or something. Alright, well, no reason to think more. Just slap down Frazette for 125. And like I said, that ought to be GG. I mean, even if he somehow... Well, he's not bingoing with that pool, I don't think. But even if he somehow comes up with something, it is not going to be enough. I mean, I have a decent enough rack here. Wow, that was some draw. Z blank after keeping a blank. Sheesh. Yeah. So this looks like it's going to be a win for us, which is good. I felt pretty good about this game. Had a nice lead early on, then the bot sort of clawed back, and I got some good draws there, made good use of the X, and of course extremely good use of that Z to get the job done here. See what I can do in this endgame. Yeah, I mean, there is not much going on in this pool here that the bot, from my perspective at least, from the bot's perspective with an E unseen, there's maybe some stuff it could fish for. I would not be surprised to see the bot try to make an opening here. It's definitely apt to do that. It doesn't really play for spread. We've seen if it sees some way that there's like a 1 in 1,000 or 1 in 10,000 win, it could go for it. It's going to probably do that over just saving spread, which is probably the more sane thing to do in this position. So, like in a tournament game, I would expect a player to maybe just play no or something with an H here to kind of throw in the towel. I wouldn't be surprised to see BestBot try to make an opening, like play HO here, or who even knows. But I expect BestBot to try to come up with something that I'm really not worried, especially given what I have here and what's in the pool. I don't see any possible... I mean, there's probably something it could have through that N, or through that M, excuse me, but I don't even know what. Omid Han, that doesn't quite work. You need 2 A's. Yeah, I don't even see anything through that M. Monkhood, that almost works, but you need a third O. Yeah, like, I don't even know. Humanoid. Okay, there's something. Yeah, I could have humanoid if like HKNOV is in the bag or something. But again, even if it somehow fishes and hits humanoid, even if I don't block, like that's about 80 points. I'm up 126. So as long as I don't do something really, really stupid, then it's just not possible, I don't think, for me to use this game. Or lose this game. So, yeah. BestBot taking some time here. I guess I should just start thinking about what my best options are depending on what it does. I guess I probably will just try to block. Maybe even just gauged here should be fine. Something like that. Dagger. I have many options. Yeah, I could even just play like gouge. I could also, well, I probably don't want to play AE over here since it gets rid of my 2 best vowels. So, yeah, okay, it plays new. And yeah, now I don't think I have anything to worry about whatsoever. I mean, there's definitely nothing to this R or this F with that. There just aren't enough vowels. I don't believe there's anything through this A it could have either. So I guess I should probably try to give myself the best chance I can of going out into... I probably don't want to play Dagger because that could give back things like Nika, Nikah, Kiva, other plays that score well and just kind of bail them out. So that's probably not a great play. Lugger, maybe? Yeah, Lugger is a little bit better, I think. It makes it a bit tougher because the U is harder to overlap. And AD is going to go out fairly often on my next turn. So that seems reasonable. Do I have anything here, maybe? Gadge. That's not even good. Daga? No, it doesn't work. I don't think I have anything above new that he just opened. Like, if I want to have it out next turn, I definitely need to play off a good number of tiles. Yeah, Mugged or something like that gives back a lot of points. Yeah, I don't hate Lugger. I mean, there's definitely no 7s. I'm quite positive of that, without even going through systematically, that the bot could have with that rack. Like, there is just nothing. And yeah, I mean, the worst thing I think that could really happen is Kiva. And I have a decent chance with AD and 2 tiles at getting it out. So I'll go ahead and play that. Well, I drew HV, so that's going to foil my plans to go out. But I don't think I'm going to be V-stuck or anything. So is the bot going to play Khan up there, maybe? Khan, and then save Dewey? Seems reasonable. It sets up Dewey and Ki. And I would imagine it's got another out somewhere, right? Is it not? Oh, maybe it doesn't, actually. Huh. So that might not be its best... Oh, it has Dusai on the bottom. Yeah, it has Dusai. So I mean, Khan looks pretty good to me. Unless there's... Do I have a big play anywhere that it needs to block? I guess, I mean, I have, like, over here. It's not particularly big. Vid. Yeah, to me, Khan followed by Dewey seems like a pretty solid sequence. That's like a 50-point sequence, nearly, with a not-so-great rack on a not-so-great board. So I feel like that's probably his best, but never know. This bot sometimes comes up with some wild endgames that I'm unable to see. Yeah, I don't see anywhere for Haiku or Haku that would get it more points. So yeah, probably just Khan, unless maybe like Huna, can he score more with Hid? Does he have anything? I don't think he has anything through this W. Yeah, I mean, unless they're missing something I have that scores more, I feel like just Khan is best. But like I said, I don't know for sure. At this point that the game is decided, I'm going to stop the video until BestBot moves, so be right back. Okay, so BestBot has actually came up with something better than Khan. It plays the nice play of Numda through the M for 40, which I did not see, admittedly, for it. And I guess it's, in theory, getting more for Ki next turn than it would for Dewey, which is not shocking. So where's it going out? I guess it can play Koi for 14. Oh, Ink is 17. So that's probably best, I would think. It has plenty of outs elsewhere, too. It's got, like, Ski, Erks, KHI. So I'm definitely not stopping it from going out. But I would like to try to play my best endgame if I can. I mean, it's probably not really worth it to block Ink. I don't think. Like, what am I even going to do there? Hand? Well, then I'm V-stuck, actually. So I can't do that. Yeah, I mean, I can't... Like, I don't even think I can do this, because I think I'm V-stuck. And then they can just play KI and then 6 and get even more. Like, I think that's bad for me, right? Because, well, let's see. So this is actually a good exercise. So if I do this, then what's the next? So that's 25. I'm definitely V-stuck if it blocks vid. Right? Like, yeah, because vid here doesn't work. Dat is not a word. So yeah, I'm definitely stuck. So then it would probably play KI. So plus 25, KI is 11, plus 14, and it's going to get 6. So I'd play Kid, I guess. That would be 15, plus 29. It gets 6 for 20, plus 9. It's only plus 1 after the 8 from the V. So I probably can do better than that. So then it's plus 1. What else do I have? So if I play Vid immediately... 18. Well, actually, it's interesting because if it goes out with, you know, something, maybe it shouldn't V-stick me after because I'm realizing these other plays don't really net more than plus 1, right? Like if I play Vid, that's 18. He goes out with Ink, that's 17, and plus 10, that's actually minus 9. So if I go back here, if I play and it just goes out with Ink. Like, that's 17, that's 12. Yeah, this is actually +4 for it instead of -1. So I think, or actually maybe, how about hat? Because that blocks ink. So at least now, if it wants to go out, it has to score a lot less. So it can go out with Nook and KI, I think is its best out elsewhere. 14, then +12 for me, so 26. Okay, so that's -2 for me. And then I think playing KI is still worse. Well, also I have Vo. Oh, and I have Vid here now too. Okay, so it can't V-stick me. It has to just go out. So this I believe is -2 for me, which isn't bad. Might be the best I can do. I mean, I just don't really think I can get rid of my H and my V. That's the problem. Like, I don't have a place to play have. So, yeah, I think hat is probably best for me here. See, once again, vid is way worse. Yeah, I don't see anything else. So, alright, hat it is. And yeah, the bot has to go out. I assume Nook and Kate. Oh, Koi over there. That's a few more. Okay, I didn't see that spot. I mean, I don't think that changes what my best play is, though. Because like I said, after... I guess, yeah, after Ah... I mean, Ink is still one more. So I guess they'd have been tied. Because Ah is one more point than Hat. I didn't see Koi here. Okay, so it would have been tied for best, what I did. But, alright. 478, 389. Nice win for us here. Definitely got some luck, especially pulling Frizette for 125 out of the bag really helped. But some cool turns too, so let's take a look at this game. Video looks good to open. Yeah, bot plays web, nothing wrong with that. Perils was the only bingo. So I blocked Corsair, wow. And I guess there was nothing else for the bot, interesting. So yeah, Lorica looks pretty solid. Ooh, Aerobia, I didn't actually come up with that. That might be a better play than Aporia. I mean, Aporia ranks higher on static, but I think Woogles overvalues double val leave. I think I would have played Aerobia for sure if I saw it, just to get rid of another val. Yeah, I didn't come up with that for some reason in this position. I mean, Aporia is not a terrible play by any means, and keeping the E isn't bad. I wouldn't call this a big mistake, but probably a small mistake, and at the minimum, I should have at least seen and considered Aerobia. So, alright, the bot did have another S, and oh! I forgot that it gave me... See, this is an important reminder, right? Whenever your opponent plays something, always look in that spot. And I had sort of dismissed that spot next to Aporia before, and I didn't realize that my opponent gave me an I, and I can now play Jimp. And it's probably the best play. I mean, it's 51 points. That's a lot. It keeps EEOO, which is obviously dreadful. And Jeep does have that benefit of setting up my O. So... It also sets up my O on the right side, too, potentially for OM play. So Jeep isn't bad. I mean, 18 is a lot to give up, and especially the potential for the bot to still score a lot over here. So, probably should have taken Jimp here. It's just too many points to give up. And as long as I can draw, like, 2 consonants or something like that, then this isn't going to be so bad. Yeah, it also blocks down the left-hand side of the board really nicely. Takes out Aporia's plays if I think the bot has another S. Takes out the C completely, so... Yeah, this is definitely a bit of a mistake here, I think. I just, unfortunately, didn't really look in that spot after I saw that there was nothing after Aporia. So, a bit of a miss, but, okay, yeah, Mungo looks good. Mitogen scores a few more points, but O is a lot worse than ET, so, yeah, that seems fine. Bot draws the Q, but is able to play it nicely. And, yeah, once again, Redolant better than Rondelet, just because Rondelet puts this D in this double-double line, where if the bot bingoes to the D, it'll be getting quadruple the points for its word and scoring a lot of points. It's a lot easier to bingo ending in a D, of course, than bingoing in an O, so that's why I played Redolant. Bot bingos with Fainters. Yeah, Fave looks good. I didn't consider... You know something? This might not be insane, because it sets up Axe. I guess, well, there's still 3 E's left. Yeah, like if there were no E's left, especially, or like 1 E, then this is probably a good play, because it sets up a big play for me with Axe next turn. With 3 E's left, and the bot having just turned over 7 tiles, so it drew out there were 34 tiles it drew, 3 E's still, or it drew out of 34 tiles, 3 E's. Yeah, it's probably likely enough to have an E that this isn't smart. But it's an interesting idea. Yeah, I think if there were... Definitely if there were no E's, and if there were 1 E left, it's probably worth it to play Vex. But with 3 E's, I think there's enough of a chance, especially, like I said, with the bot turning over 7 tiles and having a bunch of chances to draw one of them. So probably not a good play here, but interesting to think about. I think Fave is fine, and Whiny, and, ooh, so there was a 9, Texturize. which is also probably, maybe that's correct instead of text? I don't know, because it doesn't give anything else back. But honestly, I mean, text, well, it certainly worked out. Well, it's not bad. Like, 33 points. EIT blank is such a good lead, especially the pool is fairly constant heavy, has some nice higher scoring constants. I'm pretty likely to get, as we saw, I did in a big way, a nice bingo to this E on the right, or maybe a double-double through this U. So I definitely stand by text over textile. If I had seen texturize, which I honestly would not have been sure of, I would have known it for sure with the IZE, but it's a little bit tricky which of the words, especially the 9s, take ISE, because a lot of them do, and they added a bunch of them in the last update, but there's still a number that don't. So I definitely would not have been 100% sure this was a word, even if I saw it. If I were sure of it, then, yeah, I don't know, it's still close. Like I said, I mean, 34 points is a bit to give up. It's a little bit more than the static value of the blank, but EIT has some value as well. So, honestly, I'm still okay with my play. I don't really think it's a mistake. Bot has Melodia, but can't play it, so decides to score with Mauled, and then, yeah. Oh, so, wow, Frazette and Tedenize are my only bingos. I actually saw Tedenize, too, but, I mean, obviously, Frazette is way better. Or I guess Tedenize plays through the A. Oh, there's some other bingos. Okay, Ditzius, they're just way worse, because they don't score that much, and I can do this, giving both blanks. Okay, these are the only 2 bingos to the E. So, yeah, once again, it's pretty much game over here. I guess I could have played Gag. Gager I don't really like, because, yeah, it gives back Nika and stuff like that. I think Lugger is fine. I just drew HV and ended up not having it out. So, oh, Umiak is there as well, but I guess that net's worse. Yeah, Numdo was a nice play, and I mean, Khan would have been fine too, but yeah, there's actually 2 plays that I think are better than mine, because yeah, with Umiak, he still can go out in 2 spots. He has Hind to the Iron Mauled and also Hand on the bottom, so yeah, I wasn't really looking through that M as much as I should have been when I was trying to figure out his best endgame. And yeah, I think I got this one right. Either Hat or Ah, as it turns out, would have netted the same. Dot that's just worse, right? Well, and now here, well, I guess it still can't V-stick me because of Vo, but yeah, this just nets worse because it still allows Ink, and the D is going to get him 4 points, and it scores 5 fewer. So yeah, that's worse. All right, yeah, I think I got this one right, and the bot goes out. Alright, so not a bad game. A couple turns early on that I don't think I played right. Poria versus Aerobia is close. Probably Aerobia is a little bit better, and definitely Jeep was... I feel confident that Jim was a better play than Jeep. That was a bit of a sizable mistake, but other than that, nothing too bad. Pretty sound game. Definitely a nice draw at the end, but a nice play of Frazette for 125 to really cement this win. So yeah, happy with this one. Good to be now... having more than half as many wins as BestBot. It's been a while since that's happened. We're now 6-11. For a while, we were like 2-10 and just calling back, and BestBot had like 4 or 5 times as many wins. Now, BestBot has less than twice as many wins. So, progress. Hopefully, we can keep it going in game number 18, which will be coming your way soon. So, I look forward to seeing you all there. Thanks as always for watching, and I will see you guys soon. Bye-bye.